It's time for the most dramatic book tag ever. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Bobby, aka Paginator, and I'm here today with the Bachelor book tag. This one went around like years ago, was like when it was most popular, but tonight's the Bachelor. I'm filming this on Monday, and I'm kind of just feeling the Bachelor vibes. It's totally my guilty pleasure. I watch every season, and Bachelor in Paradise as well. I am trash for that show. Heaven help me. And I will also say that you can't find the original video of the original creator of this book tag anymore. I've found links to the video, but it's no longer available. I don't know if the channel got taken down or what exactly happened, but if you do a little search in YouTube for Bachelor book tag, you'll find many people who have done it in addition to myself. So we're going to dive right into the questions. I will tell you that a couple of the books, maybe just even one, is not here because it's in my classroom, so I'll insert a picture just like I normally do. Okay, so there are 7 prompts in this tag, and I will put the prompts along with the books that I discussed in the space down below, and you can look at those if you want to look at the do the tag for yourself or just look at more information. So the first one is First Impression Rose, a book you bought because of the cover. And for this one, I'm going with Stain by A.G. Howard. Let's just take a moment, shall we, and appreciate the gorgeousness. Not only is it tones of purple and a little bit of like light blues and stuff with a bit of yellow, but it's got a tagline that is part of the cover that is intriguing. Once upon a nightmare, her fairy tale begins. Now, it's a little tiny bit of an author by, but mostly like 95% cover choice. Later on, like last summer, so later on after I had read it, I painted my own edges. So I did purple and then used the jelly roll pens, the opaque jelly roll pens, to draw some flowers on there as well. So that was kind of fun to do. Plus, it kind of made sense with the book Stain. You give it stained or sprayed edges, right? But if you're not familiar, A.G. Howard wrote an amazing Alice in Wonderland spinoff for retelling series called Splintered. But this one is not part of that. This one is about a girl named Lyra. She is a princess incapable of speech or sound. And she's cast out of her kingdom of daylight by her wicked aunt. A witch saves her life, steals her memories, and raises her in an enchanted forest. So it kind of gives me Maleficent vibes because we've got like a darkish character raising a young girl in the forest, kind of like in the movie Maleficent, how she's watching over the princess. But the witch in this book steals the memories from the young girl, so Lyra doesn't really know what's going on. And here it says, meanwhile, in Lyra's rival kingdom, the Prince of Thorns and Night is dying, and the only way for him to break his curse is to wed the Princess of Daylight, for she is his true equal. As Lyra finds her way back to her identity, an imposter princess prepares to steal her betrothed prince and her crown. To win back her kingdom, save the prince, and make peace with the land of the night, Lyra must be loud enough to be heard without a voice and strong enough to pass a series of tests, ultimately proving she's everything a traditional princess is not. So there we go. It is quite a hefty book, and if you're thinking, ooh, I want that book, it's so pretty, maybe take a minute and do your research. Make sure that's really something you're intrigued in, because hefty books are a big investment in time, money, etc. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, we're going to move on in this tag. Number 2, the 2-on-1 date. Woo! That's like the curse if you get selected for that date. Oh, gosh, awkward. So for this prompt, it is your favorite and most disliked book from a series. Yeah, I'm going with Harry Potter. Surprise, surprise. My favorite is number 3, The Prisoner of Azkaban. In this one, we have Hermione traveling through time with the Time Turner. We have Sirius Black entering the series for the first time. We find out so much information about Harry's parents, especially at the end. And there's just some really cool elements in this book. I always am afraid of spoiling things, even though it's Harry Potter, and a lot of people have at least seen the movies, if not read the books, but I'm just not going to go into a ton of detail. It is my favorite because of the way everything builds in the end, and the secrets we learn, and the way that Harry's able to successfully complete the magical spell that he needs to successfully complete at the end of the book. It's a lot about love and joy, and that just makes my heart feel good. Now, my least favorite in the series, this is hard to pick because I love them all so much, but I guess I would have to say the one that's hardest for me to get through when I'm doing rereads and stuff is number 2, The Chamber of Secrets. There's something about that just, I don't know if it frustrates me that so many people aren't believing Harry when he says he's not the one opening the chamber, or what exactly it is. Maybe it's the scene with all the spiders, because like Ron, I don't love spiders. I don't know exactly, so I'm sorry I can't pinpoint exactly, but this is my least enjoyed book in the Harry Potter series. Number 3, The Wrong Reasons. That's a phrase that gets tossed out in The Bachelor quite a bit. This one is a book that starts off so strong but ends up a hot mess. Now, I know this might be a controversial opinion. I adored this book, A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. But then when we got to the sequel, I felt like it kind of fell apart for me, and that's just my opinion. I didn't love the way that the author took the story in the sequel, and I felt like it wasn't as well developed as the first one. So there we go. I can't really tell you much about the sequel without spoiling things in the first one, but I can tell you this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it's very unique. Our main characters are Wren and Harper. Harper has a disability, and she is brought into Wren's magical world through kind of an accident. Her disability is cerebral palsy, and it specifically affects the way that she walks. But she is making an effort to try to save this kingdom by breaking the curse and hopefully saving some lives in the process. Number 4 is Bachelor in Paradise. Great summertime watching, right? Your favorite light read. For this one, I have to go with a graphic novel, Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This is, like I said, a graphic novel about 2 young men who fall in love. They're on the rugby team together, and it's kind of their love story. There are 3 in this series. I don't know if there are going to be more, but I pretty much devoured these back in October and would happily reread them anytime when I'm looking for a light, cute, romantic story. Number 5, the most dramatic season ever. Totally insane roller coaster plot that had your jaw dropping. For this one, it was tricky because I was really trying to avoid picking books that were not physically here in my house, and a lot of the roller coastery ones were ones that are at school. And in fact, the book that I'm going to mention for the last prompt is another roller coastery, big, like jaw-dropping kind of moment in that book. But I ended up going with Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is my personalized autographed copy that says, "To Bobby, we're all mad here," Marissa Meyer. I love that. And this is a Alice in Wonderland retelling about the point of view of the Red Queen and how she became such a violent, off with their heads kind of crazy woman. In this book explains it very well. However, there are a lot of twists and turns. We start off with Catherine, and she's living in Wonderland. She wants to just run a bakery with her friend Dinah, and that's pretty much all she wants out of life, but her parents are pressuring her into making political moves in marriage, and she ends up falling for someone who is not the right kind of person for her to marry, and tragedy, heartbreak, betrayal, and all kinds of craziness ensues. But oh boy, is it a heck of a great read. Highly, highly recommend this one. Number 6 is The Fantasy Suite, the book that has the best romantic build-up and release. Now, this one probably won't come as much of a surprise to those of you who have watched me do tags before, because once again, I'm going to talk about A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This romantic build-up between these 2 characters, between Feyre and the guy that she ends up with, is perfectly built up. And why I say that is because, how can I explain this without spoiling? Feyre goes through trauma in book 1, like some serious heavy trauma, and this man, in the book they call him a Fey male, but we're gonna call him a man. He gives Feyre the time and space she needs to recover from her trauma. He offers assistance without being pushy, and when sparks start to fly between them, he doesn't immediately say, "Great, let's go." He lets it develop in a good course, and he waits until she's ready to make a commitment to him. And then when that happens, oh boy, do the sparks fly, and the feels, and the sexy times, and the holy cow. Like, yeah. I will always say when I talk about this book, though, I would recommend it for readers aged 15 or 16 or older, just because there are some things that I think younger readers aren't ready for. And the last prompt is the final rose, the best book you read last month. Last month was February, and the best book I read in that month was Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is the one that's at school because immediately I went to one of my coworkers, another teacher, and said, "You need to read this book." And she goes, "Oh, okay," after I had described it. So Amari is a young girl whose brother Quentin has disappeared. And she is determined to find out what happened to him, bring him back home, etc., to find answers and to find her brother. Even her mom and the police are saying he's probably never coming back. He's probably dead. Like, she's still holding out hope. One day she's in his bedroom, of course not snooping, right? Just there. And here's a ticking coming from the closet. And what she finds is a briefcase. And in that briefcase, there is an invitation for her to join a magical society. And this is, and I'm going to blank on the name of it now. Crap. I'll find it and insert it in the space below. The name of the society will be down here for you. But anyway, she is competing to get one of, I think it's 4 possible open positions in the same department that her brother used to work in before he disappeared. And her brother was really, really well known and really loved because of his work, and a lot of people are concerned, but they feel like she's not living up to his legacy, especially when it's revealed that she is an illusionist. Illusionists in that world are very looked down upon, and many people think they don't even belong in that academy or society. And I kind of have been comparing it to the way that Slytherins are often looked at in Harry Potter. They are kind of looked at like, "Oh, you're a Slytherin, huh? Okay." So to say that she's not loved there is accurate and perhaps an understatement. She's bullied, especially by one particular girl, but she has a really cool roommate who's a dragon shapeshifter. Like, awesome. And there is someone who's been kind of messaging her secretly through the magical social media, and their name is like Magic Girl 18 or something like that, and she doesn't know who they are, but they're like, "I understand you, I think I could help you." And so she's really hoping to meet up with that person, and all of this is building towards her quest to eventually get her brother back. There are twists and turns, there are big plot twists. There was a massive one at the end that I did not see coming at all, and it was so much fun. I know this book has already been optioned for a movie. I don't know how soon production will begin on that, because these things seem to take a while to get the ball rolling, and, scripts have to be written and producers hired and all those things. So we'll just kind of see what happens, but I'm very much looking forward to that movie because, as I said, I adored the book. So that brings me to the end of the Bachelor book tag. Do you guys watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette or Bachelor in Paradise? If so, who has been your favorite Bachelor or Bachelorette? Or, like, what's been your favorite date that they've planned through the show, or location? I always think of when Emily was the Bachelorette and they went to Scotland and did, like, the Celtic games and super fun stuff like that, because I love Scotland. But anyway, send me a thought or two about that in the space below if you wish. And have a wonderful, magic, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.